share an Irish heritage. And one of the things that I always tell our Indian friends every time I get an opportunity to speak to you is the joy and the pride that each and every one of us share in our immigrant heritage. Every single one of us on this planet, every single one of us in America are immigrants. The only exception are the Native Americans, but with the exception of that group, every single one of us are immigrants. The only question is to what country or what region we trace our lineage back and how many generations back. In my case, 2 generations ago, my grandparents on both sides immigrated from Ireland. And one of the greatest gifts that my parents ever gave to me is the very same thing that I see in your community. My parents always taught me to be a proud American, to value and cherish everything that is to be an American and all the benefits we have here, but to also never lose touch of that cultural, ethnic, ancestral heritage, the dance, the language, the music, the food, the culture. And that is the greatest gift you give to our community. It's not the added cultural diversity, which is great, a gift. It's not the added economic benefit, which is a great gift, but the most important gift you give is the way you raise your children. Because I can tell you firsthand, that's the greatest gift you can give, and I love seeing the kids come out here. I love it, because it tells me that we have hope for the next generation when you can instill in them the values of being a proud American, but also never losing touch of the ancestral roots, as we saw here with the dance, as we saw earlier today with my sister and her Irish step dancing. It's the greatest gift we can give. I also want to let everybody know, before I introduce a few of my friends here, which I want everybody to get to know. In August of this year, I served, as you all know, as a member of the United States House of Representatives on the Foreign Affairs Committee. My subcommittee covers India. And this August, I will be traveling to India to meet Prime Minister Modi. You guys like him, right? So the 2 things that we share in common, India is the world's largest democracy. The United States is the world's oldest democracy. We have long shared a history of inseparable connection. Military sharing, intelligence sharing, financial support, support for each other's cultures. That has been a long-standing tradition and it will continue. It will absolutely continue. And the one thing that I look forward to sharing with Prime Minister Modi when I meet him in August, and I've been looking forward to this for a long time, is to tell him what an amazing Indian American community we have here in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, Montgomery County, this entire Philadelphia. And I'm going to ask him one thing. I'm going to go and see him in India. And I'm on the Foreign Affairs Committee, so we have a little bit of influence, and I'm going to have one request from him. And that is that when he comes to the United States for the next UN convention, that he pays a visit here in Pennsylvania to see all you all. Yeah. So there's a few people I want to recognize, and I say this with the backdrop that before being in Congress, I was an FBI agent who ran the political corruption unit. So I spent my whole career arresting politicians. And there's 4 people, and this will tell you that if I vouch for somebody, it means a lot, right? It means an awful lot. There are 4 people tonight that I want to pay special recognition to, and there's a lot of great people here. By the way, I care so much about each and every one of you. When I first ran for Congress, this was the first community that one of the gentlemen I'm about to introduce, Gene DiGirolamo, introduced me to, was the Indian community. You guys are the most special people that I've had the opportunity to serve and work with. But the first person I want to recognize, you know, we all live in a great country, but we also live in a community and a country that faces a lot of crime problems. And the most important quality in a district attorney we can have is someone who is a strict enforcer of the rule of law, but also has compassion about civil and constitutional rights. And it's that delicate balance that makes a great district attorney. And then a third, very important quality, is that they are a good person and a good human being with a huge heart and a passionate soul. And the person I'm talking about is Matt Weintraub, and he's here tonight. Matt, will you stand up? Speaking of law enforcement, you know, we are all dealing with the opioid epidemic here in our community, and it's a fight that we're all in together. And the largest police department in Bucks County, and probably this entire region outside of the city and metropolitan areas, is Ben Salem. There's a gentleman that we are known to call him Commissioner Fred, who I call Public Safety Director Fred Herron. Fred, would you stand up? Yeah. For Ben Salem. Speaking of addiction and recovery, we have a lot of state representatives in Bucks County. There's one that stands head and shoulders above everybody else. It's not even close. You all know him very well. You call him G. Patel. We call him G. DiGirolamo. Somebody who has given their heart and soul to public service for decades. And I can tell you, having been in his office, meeting with him, he'll take a phone call with someone who's dealing with a debilitating health illness where he's trying to connect them with a place where they can get help. People that are suffering from addiction, not just drug addiction, but alcohol addiction, many forms of addiction, mental health crisis. This is a man who bleeds passion and love for our community. He is such a good person. He's a state representative now. He's going to make a phenomenal county commissioner for Bucks County, G. DiGirolamo. Stand up. And lastly, it's also important that we have good judicial candidates, right? That we have good judges that are going to respect our community. And we have somebody who I've known for a long time who's been very, very active in our community, who's never really gotten engaged in a lot of the stuff that we get engaged in here. She's just quietly served her community as a lawyer, defending people's rights, their civil liberties, their constitutional rights, and their dignity. I call her a personal friend, and I ask every single one of you in this room to remember this name, Denise Bowman. Remember the name, Denise Bowman. Denise, stand up. And lastly, to the kids in the room, but to your parents, one of the greatest things that we can do in Congress is to bring kids down to the floor of the House of Representatives, and I can actually let them vote for me, if you can imagine that. And it's one of the greatest experiences you can give to your children, and I want to extend that opportunity to every single one of you in this room to come down to Washington. That's your house. You own it. You pay for it. That's your house. Bring your children down, and if they're under 12, I can make a few exceptions. They're a little bit older. I'm looking at you right here. What's your name? Raj Veer. Oh yeah? You're going to be my first guest. Right? To come down to the floor of the House, and we can bring kids to the floor, and they can meet Speaker Nancy Pelosi, they can meet Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, they can meet AOC, they can meet Jim Jordan, whoever you want them to meet. It's up to you, right? But I can introduce them to every one of them. It's the most phenomenal experience they will ever experience. The adults have to be in the gallery, but you can look down at your kids and watch them cast a vote on the floor of the House of Representatives. And that's an invitation I want to invite and extend to each and every one of you to bring your children down. Because I will tell you, what a great gift to give your children, right? To bring them to the greatest country in the world and to bring them to the floor of the House of Representatives and have them cast a vote on the floor. It's an experience they will never forget. It's the greatest gift you can give to them. It's an offer that I'm extending to you. Please reach out to our office and we'll invite you down. We'll roll out the red carpet. It doesn't cost you a dime. We pay for everything. And it's a really, really good gift, and it's a gift that I want to extend to you all. And lastly, if any of you have any advice, any thoughts you want me to share with Prime Minister Modi when I do meet with him, please extend it to me. I'm going to be sitting here for a little bit. I got to go to another event. But I want to hear your thoughts because my job is to represent you, not only in the House, but when I go to India to meet with the Prime Minister. So I just want to tell you all, we thank you so much for your service to our community. We love you. Perhaps we have a flag we float over the Capitol for you and for the CIO, which you guys did a phenomenal job down at the Pencil Landing when you had the Indian Festival. It's one of the things that I really, really enjoyed going to. But Paresh, this is for you and your committee. Thank you, sir.
Brian, sorry, I'm going to ask you to stay here since you give me a flag. Brian, I need you back here. I'm also going to invite my award committee chair, Manish Hingal, to talk about one of the awards which we're going to give it to you. Manish Hingal, can you please come on stage?
So let me tell you a little bit about the awards that we give. We give Community Service Award, we give Youth Achievers Award, and a Professional Excellence Award. I'm going to present to you right now the Youth Achievers Award. And I think what I want is Shankar, who was member of my awards committee. Shankar, are you there somewhere? Okay, come on up here. So I know it's hard to get a 5,000 Indian community in Greater Philadelphia to give an award for a youth achiever, but we as committee, one more person is Lalita Sethi, who could not make it today, but this was a committee that really vetted out the recommendations that we got from the board, and here's the one that we chose for our youth achiever. Her name is Kavita Kute. And she's here, Kavita, if you could please come up here. So let me talk a little bit about Kavita. What she's done is she was chosen as one of the top 20 students in the tri-state area for research opportunity at Immersion Science Program. She's represented Pennsylvania in Odyssey of the Mind World Finals. She's a recipient of the U.S. President's Education Award for 2017. She's a member of the National Honor Society. She's a class cabinet in grade 10, where she was involved with the schools, and she's been doing it from elementary school. I think the list goes on and on. I cannot do all the, and this is how much it takes for someone to choose for us. And one of the things that Kavita, I wanted to talk about her was Kavita has also shown exceptional leadership in her role as support a child coordinator. So she has done that, and the list goes on, and I think it took us a long time to get to someone like Kavita, and Kavita, congratulations for all the achievements. Do you want to say a couple of words?
The main thing that I just want to say is that I'm so glad that CIO, and when I was growing up, I had an organization like CIO to basically keep me involved in my community. Like you were saying, how your parents and your community keep you grounded, they keep you with your culture, and I'm glad that I have CIO and my own companies to keep me with my culture.
So now I invite our Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick to please present this award to Kavita Kute. So one of the things I wanted to mention, Brian, just wait here. Just now me and Brian were talking a little bit about Irish and Bollywood music. So I think Brian's idea is we're gonna do a fusion dance of Bollywood and Irish in the coming years. So look out for that. I don't know if many of you know that Brian's sister Maggie runs Fitzpatrick, the Irish School of Dance in Sellersville, right? And I think I've seen them dance, the Irish girls dancing. Very nice, and I hope we can blend it with Bollywood next year. And it is Brian's idea, so watch out for that fusion.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Manish. Thanks, Shankar. Yep. All right, Sadhna.